Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be doing a book review of Sisters of the War, and this is two remarkable true stories of survival and hope in Syria. It is by Rania Abouzeid. And if I'm looking this way, it's because I have all my notes here. Firstly, I picked up Sisters of the War because I wanted to understand Syria beyond the headlines, not just the politics, but the people. Journalist Rania Abouzeid risked her life to tell this story. She made secret trips into war-torn Syria, staying with families on both sides of the conflict, to show what war looks like through the eyes of two pairs of sisters, Ruha and Allah, and Hanin and Jawa. So, for a little bit of context, it begins in 2011 when the peaceful protests against President Bashar al-Assad are met with bullets and bombs. What started as a revolution for freedom turned into a civil war. Cities were divided between government and rebel forces. Foreign powers joined in, and ordinary Syrians were caught in the middle. Estimates put civilian deaths at over 500,000, and more than 12 million people were displaced. Behind every statistic, there's a face, a child, a family, a story like the ones in this book. So, to start with, let's talk about Ruha's story. Ruha and her sister Allah live in Sarakib, a rebel-held town in northern Syria. Their neighborhood is under constant shelling, nights that are lit up by bombs, mornings spent sweeping glass from the floor. When their school is destroyed, Ruha still studies in the dark basement with her classmates. Eventually, her family flees to Turkey, where they're safe but never at peace. They feel like outsiders, still Syrians, just displaced ones, longing for a home that might not exist anymore. Hanin's story unfolds in Damascus, a government-controlled area where life seems safer, but the war reaches her anyways. She's kidnapped by a militia, taken from her home and held for months. Though she is eventually released, the trauma stays with her. Her experience shows that no one in Syria was untouched, not even those who lived under the protection of the government. Fear, loss, and uncertainty were part of everyday life for everyone. So let's talk about the themes behind this book. So Rania Abouzeid's reporting doesn't take sides. She humanizes everyone. Through Ruha and Hanin, we see the cost of war, not just the destruction of buildings and lives, but the slow erasure of childhood, safety, and hope. Ruha and Hanin grow up in worlds that are shaped by fear and conflict, yet they both cling to hope in different ways. Their stories show the complexity of the Syrian conflict, how two girls from the same country can experience the war in different ways, yet they share the same longing for peace and normalcy. So, my final thoughts, and a little bit about my final thoughts on this book. For me, it was quite a page turner. The reading was very easy, but you can really feel through the pages the emotions, the fear, the sense of hope. It's very raw, heartbreaking, and it's unforgettable. This book offered so many different perspectives through different family members that are connected to Ruha and Hanin, and through fear, courage, and resilience. All of their perspectives are really shown there. It makes for a story that truly stays with you long after you close the last page. So I would highly recommend checking out this book. It definitely gives you a really good perspective of, people that were just civilians living during the time of this war. And I think everyone needs to understand it more and should try to learn a little bit more about it. So it was definitely recommend this book. And if you've read this book or are planning to read this book, let me know what you think. And we'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye!